couple of comments. Obviously it was very exciting and satisfying to get the win. We knew going in that we would be pretty heavily favored, but we have handled adversity a lot in our program so far this season. But the one thing that we really didn't know how we were going to handle is being the favorite going into the game. We had a great week of practice, great preparation, outstanding game plans from the offensive side to the defensive side, the special teams. And I think absolutely it started with our special teams, which it had kind of been our Achilles heel so far this season. So it was great to see us set the tone and get the tackle inside the 15-yard line to start the game. And then obviously the two big block punts and getting points on the board and Jarrett doing what he did. That was outstanding. And I think it's satisfying as a coach because we know we have talent on special teams. Jake's big field goal from 38 yards probably would have been good from close to 50. So we know we have talented guys. We know we're just really inconsistent. So to have a big day on special teams really helped us. Obviously, the defense stepped up and played far and away their best game, and they should have against this caliber of opponent. But we did a great job tackling. Our mental mistakes were very few. We didn't get the turnovers that we were hoping to force, but we did an outstanding job all day long, particularly on third downs. And when we had success, we kept after it, and that was great to see. There really wasn't any letdown. On the offensive side of the ball, I think most of the credit has to go to our offensive line. They did another great job in pass protection. But run game wise, we opened up huge holes in this game. We really did a great job of winning at the line of scrimmage, which was something that we had not done on a consistent basis nearly as well as we did today. And that continued to go as the game went on. We got stronger, which was great to see. So my hat's off to the offensive line and the job that they did. Obviously we had some fine performances from the running back position today, but I really think the bulk of the credit has to go to the offensive line and our tight ends and fullbacks.
Just for you and I guess Jarrett too, how much, obviously it was barely early, but how much did you feel like everything shifted directly into your favor when you blocked that punt?
Well, the biggest momentum changer in football is a turnover on special teams. And that was something that we've been on the opposite end of that this year. And it was nice to be on the right side. And I think that, in terms of our performance, I think, you can look at guys like Jarrett. Jarrett is a freshman. He's a very talented player. He's finding his way. He's getting more comfortable. And as the season progresses, the talent of some of our younger players are starting to rise. They're believing in themselves. They've adjusted to the speed of college football. And Jarrett's a guy who we first noticed a couple weeks ago is just a guy who was continuously standing out. Doing a great job blocking PATs and field goals was, I think, the first thing that we noticed. But there are other guys like him, and hopefully, more of those young guys that are playing, they can each step up and make plays like Jarrett did today.
Second question. I feel like special teams we've been working in all week. It's a big change point because the past games, we let some stuff up and it's changed over the game. So if we make plays on special teams, it could change us and help our offense get a better field position and put points up on the board.
Jarrett, can you kind of take us through the plays on each of the blocks? What led the blocks?
What led the blocks was we were practicing all week, and then when somebody stepped up, they had confusion, and I just shot the gap and running towards it. I just put my hands out because I knew to the block point, got it, scooped and scored.
Coach, what makes Jarrett so good at blocking kicks?
Well, he's got a great get-off. That's the first thing. The second thing is an intangible factor of having confidence when you get to the block point. It's a fine art. It's one thing to be able to get there, but it really is something to get your hands at the block point, not rough the kicker, and he's done an outstanding job of both.
Ben, how nice is this for you after what you guys have been through as a program in the last 4 years to have 2 wins this season, never win like today?
I think it's really good. You know, it's just the start. It's 2 wins. You know, we're trying to go for more, and we will go for more. But you know, for the guys who have been here through those hard years, this is just great payoff for them, and we're going to keep working and keep winning.
But after, I know you had, maybe not, probably didn't play as well as you wanted to last week, and then you threw the pig early. How happy were you with the way you were able to bounce back?
I'm able to bounce back because of the team. You know, guys get on my back, and you know they're pushing me to be better. You know, there are things that need to be cleaned up at the quarterback position, you know, with the way that I'm playing. But my team rallies around me, and that's what allows me to come back and make plays like we had today.
What are some of the specific things you want to clean up?
Specifically, just get my reads down better, understanding defenses and kind of the schemes of what they're going for, and just keep myself protected in the pocket to make good decisions.
You know, one of the nice things about Ben that I like is his ability that very little rattles him. He's able to shrug off a bad throw or a bad read, and then, you know, we have absolute confidence that he can overcome. He's not a guy, there's a lot of guys that kind of stick their head in the sand if things aren't going well, and he's been able to weather the storm and play some of his best football after he's made a bad mistake or two.
Coach, what's the status on the injury?
It looks like he has a dislocated shoulder. We're still looking into it, but it's probably going to be a couple of weeks before we get him back.
I know this is, I mean, you haven't been here like in the past, but you know, I've seen a lot of guys who have, you know, struggled. What does it mean to you from just your experience with them to see them get over the hump and get second layer in the season?
Well, I think the first thing is it's deserving. You know, our guys have worked their tails off. You know, they've pushed hard in the weight room, working hard in the summer. The amount of guys that stuck around, and anytime you put that much of an investment into something, to come close and fail, or to continually go up against you know, a scholarship program where you're going to be the you know, 2 or 3 touchdown underdogs, you need to counterbalance those and have the wins against the teams that you should be able to beat, and to go out and do what we did today was very satisfying, because guys can feel what it's like to blow an opponent out, to finish a game, to play. Have success and have that spurn on further success, and continue to demoralize your opponent and to get after him and have confidence to do that. And it's one thing to stand up in front of the team and talk about, hey, here's what can happen if you practice like we want you to practice, if you work hard in the weight room like we're demanding you to do, and if you make those types of sacrifices, studying film and learning your plays and understanding your role and those things. So when you can have an opportunity like we did today to go up against an opponent that we were a little bit more talented than, it's great. It's great to have our team respond the way that they did and get the win and have fun doing it. And lastly, to play a lot of players like we were able to do in the second half. You know, we have a lot of guys that play on scout team or second and third team guys that they're working just as hard as the starters, and to allow them to see the field and carry the ball or make the throw or make the block, you know, when all they've been doing is working hard down on scout team, it's satisfying to see those guys get out there and make a play or two as well.
Ben and Jared, what did it mean to you guys to play in front of such a big homecoming crowd, all the alumni here? How much extra motivation is that?
You know, you want to play well, especially when we do have a lot of alumni coming back. People are always checking out the program, seeing how we're doing, and to come out here and to show them what progress we've made and where we're going is. It was very exciting to do that for him today.
Like Ben said, coming out here, showing the alumni how we play. You know, I'm only a freshman, but I want to show the community who we are and how we're going to turn this program around.
What did you see from Jake Newman in the kicking game specifically? You touched on him earlier, but how have you seen him progress?
Yeah, I think he kicked the ball with a lot of confidence today, and I wanted to make sure I grabbed him. He kicked 2 out of bounds, but there was a breeze that came up, and he put it basically exactly where we wanted him to put it. It was his best day kicking off, and obviously the big field goal as well. So I wanted to make sure that he didn't get down, you know, because I know after he kicked the first one out of bounds, it was close, and I just said, hey, you're doing a great job. Just keep swinging away. And he had another great one, and then he kicked another one out of bounds. It's just like, look, I felt it. The breeze came up, and that ball, went out of bounds on like the 2-yard line. Had it just been 2 yards farther, it would have been a touchback. And we were asking him to put it down there, basically on the numbers, and that's a directional kick, and he played very well. So, again, hopefully he can, take away increased confidence, and then the next time we put him in a clutch situation, he'll come through for us.
You talked about when you got some of the young players and anybody that caught your attention out of that young group.
Well, Frank Katrine is a guy who has done a great job. He leads by example. He is a freshman who I think, unfortunately for him, plays behind 3 very talented running backs. So he's a 4th-team guy, but in terms of talent, we think the sky's the limit for Frank. He's selfless. He works hard. He'll go down on scout team and take his lumps there. But he is intelligent and very talented. And so it was great for him to get his most. We featured him in a couple of games so far this season, but nothing like the amount of snaps that he got today. So it was great to see him have success.
How pleased are you with the way Brandon's been running his last few weeks?
Oh, it's been great. I think he's really getting comfortable with the offense. He runs the ball hard. He's doing everything that we can ask of him, and I think there's a great competition that goes on at that position, and it's a win for the football team because guys know that if they have an off week of practice, they're not going to see as many snaps, and if they're a little dinged up and they're 90%. The other running backs that we have that are 100% are better than them, going at 90%. So it's a very healthy competition that we have going on there at that position, and it's a great problem to have.
Getting back to Kasara for a minute, how tough is that going to be to potentially be without him?
Well, I think it's going to be a challenge. I mean, he'd played 3 pretty good football games in a row, and that slot position for us is a pretty key position. We play with a lot of 3 or 4 wide receiver sets. So, we're going to miss him, but, we've got a number of talented players, and, whether that's another receiver stepping up, a guy like Fred Gladney or Tony Tavy, who haven't gotten as many snaps as they may not have preferred, or a guy like Ryan Shea, who basically plays Kasara's position as our 4th wide receiver in the game. Those 3 guys will see a little bit additional work, and we have enough personnel groups in our offense as well that we'll find ways to minimize the effect, but it's a blow, there's no question about it.